Hello everyone, this is Jim Okersinski with your week 15 screencast video. So if I do sound a little raspy in the voice and a little congested, I am, like everybody, probably battling seasonal allergies. So bear with me. I probably sound worse than I normally do. So in week 15, we have a couple of activities happening. We have discussion board 18. Now this is your last discussion board of the semester. It's all about local revision, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. Also, peer review number 2 is due by end of day on Friday. And then, of course, responses to the discussion board are due Sunday, end of day on the 2nd. Now, you want to check the schedule. The final draft of the research essay is due on Tuesday, the 4th. So let's get to the discussion board real quick. Discussion board 18. So I'm asking you to read these 4 sections on local revision: managing persona through diction and style, tightening the seams between what you say and what they say, and exercise 5.1 actually helps them illustrate where you are active and more where you are passive, and even when some people even remarked in their discussion board post that they could actually see how well they did in blending or how well they didn't do. So you can work through the seams there. And then also scrutinizing paragraphs, just refreshing everybody's idea of what a paragraph is. And then finally, scrutinizing sentences. So, the idea of banging out a draft is just getting the words onto a document, but you want to go through those sentences, eliminate that passive voice, get to more active voice with strong verbs. Um, Check in your language and the words you use to refer to items that you're talking about. Be specific as you can. And I'm asking for your initial post to be a substantial paragraph from your draft, one that contains source material, like a quote or two. Copy and paste a paragraph from your draft using the strategies mentioned in the sections above. Revise your paragraph while at the same time highlighting specific changes. After you complete the revisions, write a summary of the changes explaining your reasoning. So it's kind of a straightforward activity. Gives you some experience in doing some of that local revision that is so important in the final draft. Now, as I say here, let's get back to the announcements. This week's lecture video at the end of the week, we'll talk about preparing the final manuscript from the Curious Researcher. I'll go over some of the top items that you'll want to focus on along with the local revisions and preparing the final draft of your research essay. Now, if you go to the module, I urge everyone to read the final essay instructions one more time closely before you turn it in. So basically, the first draft and the second draft are the same instructions about MLA format. You're going to want to go through the example and look at the example, and then look through Appendix A. There is a sample essay in Appendix A of an MLA formatted document that is really critical. So same thing, you're using 6 sources. The only criteria that changes is the minimum word count gets pushed up to 2,500 words. So I might have made a content about where you could go. I should say I might have made a comment about where you can go about adding content to your particular first draft. So be aware of that, and that's excluding the works cited page. All right. So let me see here. Peer review. I want to get to peer review. So it's a really I say this is straightforward, but I'm getting some emails and see some of the actions taken in the Canvas and also the Drive folder. So I just want to emphasize that, for example, the reason for writing the report about your draft is to give people a heads up of exactly where you would like them to focus their attention. So a long draft, you just can't say, I need you to do this, this, and this. You have to be as specific as you can in writing the report. So here we have an example of a report and then the 3 items, and it's really, a standard peer review activity. Name, there's a few peer review reports where students didn't put their name in, and you respond to what the writer wrote here, the report itself. It's important because that's the purpose of this form, is for you to respond and engage in a conversation with the individual writer. Then you want to be able to answer my questions, my prompts, and then offer 3 items of your own. It's kind of what I say, a straightforward activity as far as the peer review. And when you've written a peer review in somebody's folder, you want to make sure that you grab the link, copy the link, put that link into the assignment in Canvas. It's really right there, and then I'll look at it. There's 2 peer reviews. Okay, if I go to assignments here. Now remember, I have an instructional video on the research essay along with the example. So I have peer review 1 and peer review 2. Give me one of your reviews in each. Make sure that the link is good and it goes to the copy in the drive folder, and it's pretty straightforward activity there. So that way you've gotten a report written on yours. Everybody should have 2 peer reviews plus my feedback on your first draft. So as you can imagine, expectations are high in the final essay submission. Let's see what else we have to talk about. So that's peer review. Okay. Number 2 is Friday. Take your time with this activity, and the responses I said for the local revisions are due on Sunday, the 2nd, with the final research essay draft due on the 4th. I'll cover this particular section, as I said, in the lecture video. Next week's screencast video, we'll talk about and start the conversation on our multimodal assignment. So you might want to take a look at that as you wrap up your final draft of your essay. All right, so once again, I say here, you have to see my comment section in the grade center for that link to your reviewed draft. It probably is not viewable in a cell phone. You're gonna have to jump on a computer and do that. If you have any questions about my comments, send me an email sooner rather than later so that I can answer you in plenty of time for you to take action in the final draft. Whew. I think that's about it. So if you have any questions, everybody knows where to find me. Good luck.